What an interesting time to be living in, folks. Welcome, good afternoon, and welcome to the Mike Martins channel, and thanks for joining me. Interesting times we live in, eh? Interesting time to see things unfold or unravel, and how just the dodginess and people getting away with committing crimes. Some people get away for committing crimes. And I mean, they know they're committing the crime, but they let them get away with it. Are we talking about your La Cosa Nostra underground mafia? No. We're talking about day to day average businessmen or investors that have been screwing with our system and our futures, and our kids' futures and grandkids' futures. Who's going to pay for it? We will pay for it in the end. Because dirty investors never, ever pay for any damages they cause. They apologize for getting caught, but they never pay for any damages. So we've been following this for a long time. BC Lottery Corporation finally reveals secret behind $700,000 fine for money laundering fumbles. So money laundering in Canada to me is almost like, when you're watching those movies and people are putting money in the mattress, in the toaster, in the attic because they have nowhere to put their money and it's just all over the place. That's how I see Canada. They're just trying to stuff money and hide it in every angle possible, and they're running out of places. They've been laundering billions of dollars through our real estate, coming in offshore, billions of dollars through our real estate, and universities, colleges, casinos, hockey bags full of money. CBC News, this is from today's dates, 1st of July 2020. Happy Canada Day, by the way. CBC News fought 9 years to find out why the BCLC fell afoul of Frantic, Canada's money laundering watchdog. So there it is, lots of money being laundered through Canada. A casino employee surveys bundles of $20 bills in a photograph released by BC Attorney General's office as an illustration of money laundering in BC Ministry of Attorney General. The BC Lottery Corporation has finally given up on a decade fight to keep a secret. And they've been kind of putting the lid on the money laundering, because if it was me that was doing it, I'd be front and center on the front page and made an example of. Because it's not me doing it, it's kind of hard to bring people forward that are doing it, right? In 2010, BCLC was hit with a $700,000 fine by FinTrack, the country's money laundering watchdog, for undisclosed violations of proceeds of crime, money laundering, and the T word, I can't even say this, that word right there, Financing Act. It was the largest penalty ever leveled against the provincial gaming corporation until FinTrack eventually withdrew its case after a long, complicated legal battle. But the BCLC still fought to keep the facts of the case from the public. Now the Lottery Corporation is voluntarily releasing documents that detail its past filings relating after a 9-year Freedom of Information battle with the CBC News. The move comes after BC Attorney spoke about BCLC's new board of directors earlier this year. I think the release of these documents is long overdue, but he said in February. The president of the BC Freedom of Information Privacy Association agrees. Access delayed is access denied, says Larson. And it's about time that we have this information. It's about time we have this information. And there's 7 major deficiencies. And then they go into BCLC insisted it was making changes. And going into notice of violations here. And the 7K fine leaked. This is very long. That's why I'm not reading the whole thing. And Scursy endorsed trust. So there it is. A stack of the stack that started the CBC obtained 3,000 records relating to criminal activity in BC casinos. 3,000. Look at that. But because it's not me that's doing it, unfortunately, it will never come to light. It will never surface. Now, why am I bringing this up and talking about this, even though we talked about this? It's happening in Australia. It's happening in New Zealand. It's happening in the UK, Canada, and parts of Western United States, and New York and Massachusetts. It's happening in these states, bringing in foreign investing, and not all of it is, like 90% of it isn't declared. because a lot of people just don't want to pay the tax man, right? So this ties to this. This is from Better Dwelling. So it ties to this. Here it is. Let me just, all these windows opening. Here it is from Better Dwelling. Canada would be in a recession without money laundering. So they only had it up from 2011 to 2015, and that's $200 billion laundered through Canadian real estate pretty much. But it's showing you by province, which province, $200 billion for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And it was shut down in 2015, and there's no more investigation for the money laundering. But that's a lot of cake right there. And things got worse after 2015, if you guys remember, when it came to actual money laundering, right? More money laundering than Alberta, BC. Canadian money laundering as percentage of GDP, there it is. It's just dangerous. This is dangerous. But because we've sold out our locals, world economy would collapse if the City of London stopped laundering money, says HSBC whistleblower. So that's it. This is what's happening, people. We sold out to the highest bidder. We know this. We've talked about this a quadrillion times on the channel, right? Foreign investors, most of them from China, of course, come in, and you don't see people from Iran coming here and buying up our farms and paying 10 times the over price. We don't see people from Russia doing that. You know what I'm saying? So it's parking money. It's getting it offshore, and it's crippled Canada. Population 33 million Canadians living here. I don't know how many are like total Canadians, but I'm saying like people that live in this country are having a really tough time making ends meet. I speak to people every day at my shop that are just always hitting hard times and working 2 jobs and could barely just pay rent to get ahead because the cost of living just got out of reach and wages haven't kept up with inflation, and that's been a huge issue. And instead of having a correction and a restart, things just get piled on. Things get piled on and piled on. And that's what's happening, guys. And why they want to keep this such a big secret? Why did they have to? Why? What's the big deal? Why can't people pay for their crimes anymore in Canada and Australia and the UK and New Zealand? Why? Everyone's out protesting all this crap, but they don't protest how our futures were stolen and robbed from us. They don't protest that. They don't protest where our kids and grandkids are going to end, how they're going to end up, they're worried about other stuff, but we had more opioid and fentanyl overdoses in the province of BC in 1 month than all of BC and I think 2 other provinces together had in COVID. But we're still donating $300 million to fight COVID. Explain that to me. Please, educate me. I don't know anything. Maybe you could tell me something. Let me know in the comments below, guys, what you guys think. I look forward to reading your comments right now. Thanks for watching.